The Deal with the Devil, a forbidden book stolen under the cover of night. A Demoness of Meridiana, offering untold power and wealth. And a mechanical bronze head said to foretell the future. These aren't mere fragments of medieval myth. They form the strange legacy of Pope Sylvester II. Over the centuries, the position of Pope has been occupied by an extraordinary range of personalities, saints and schemers, humanitarians and conquerors, visionaries, and at times, even crime lords. The decisions made by these men, both virtuous and corrupt, have shaped the course of history far beyond their billions of followers. But in the year 999, a figure unlike any before him ascended to the papacy, Gerbert of Aurillac, better known as Pope Sylvester II. His intellect was unmatched, pushing the boundaries of mathematics, astronomy, and mechanics in an age ruled by superstition. Under Sylvester's guidance, Europe saw glimpses of the future, an early foreshadowing of the Renaissance to come. But for his contemporaries, there was something unsettling about Sylvester's genius. In a world where the line between the divine and the diabolical was thin, rumors spread that his wisdom came not from God, but from a more evil source. For centuries, scholars, historians, and church officials have asked the same stunning question. Could the leader of the Catholic Church, the most powerful man in the Christian world, have been in league with Satan? A pact with the devil and a demon. When Gerbert became Pope Sylvester II, existing rumors of his dealings with the devil intensified, prompting chroniclers like the 12th century William of Malmesbury to document the legends. According to William, Gerbert's rise was fueled by an insatiable thirst for knowledge. He arrived in Spain, a land rich with the wisdom of the East, as a young scholar hungry for new insights. There, he studied under an Arabic philosopher who possessed a rare and forbidden book, one said to contain the entirety of Islamic knowledge of the dark arts. Despite Gerbert's desperate pleas, the philosopher refused to share the coveted text. Noting that his host kept it hidden beneath his pillow at night, Gerbert devised a more cunning plan. He befriended the philosopher's daughter, carefully gaining her trust. Then, one evening, after filling his host's cup with wine, until the man slipped into a drunken slumber, Gerbert made his move. Quietly, he slid the book from beneath the philosopher's head and disappeared into the night. But the philosopher was no fool. He used his knowledge of the stars to track Gerbert, closing in on the young thief. Cornered and desperate, Gerbert called upon Satan while hiding beneath a bridge. In exchange for his perpetual servitude, the devil helped Gerbert escape, binding him in a pact that some believed would follow him all the way to the Vatican. In an alternate telling by 12th century Welsh author Walter Mapp, in his chronicle De Nujus Curialium, Gerbert's association with dark forces began when he arrived as a student at the Cathedral School of Reims, France. Here, he fell in love with the provost's daughter, a love that consumed him. Rejected again and again, Gerbert lost his passion for learning and took to wandering the woods in a state of despair. There, in the shadow of the trees, he encountered a being unlike any he had ever seen. A woman of otherworldly beauty, seated on a silken carpet beside a bag of gold. Her name was Meridiana. Meridiana mocked Gerbert's foolish obsession with the provost's daughter, and promised him wealth, power, and the success he craved, if he would only love her instead. Gerbert agreed, and soon realized that Meridiana offered far more than gold. She could see the future, and under her guidance, his life transformed. His reputation as a scholar spread across Europe, and his rise to the papacy seemed almost preordained. Those who believed the legend claimed that it wasn't Gerbert who wielded power from the Vatican, but Meridiana. Whether demon or witch, she was the true master. Of course, the reality was likely more grounded, and perhaps even more impressive. Gerbert's rise owed less to dark magic, and more to his undeniable intellect and political savvy. His connections with powerful patrons, including 3 Holy Roman emperors, propelled him forward. Though the common people may have viewed him with suspicion, Europe's elites saw him for what he truly was, a brilliant, well-connected figure, capable of profound reforms in mathematics, science, and religion. As Pope Sylvester II, he used his brief papacy to combat corruption within the Church. He attacked the practices of simony, with the selling of positions within the Church, and the keeping of concubines among the clergy, advocating that only morally upright men should serve the institution. The automaton. William of Malmesbury didn't just accuse Sylvester of making a pact with the devil. He also claimed that the Pope practiced black magic, most notably through the creation of a mechanical head, said to possess the power of speech and foresight. According to the history of the English kings, Sylvester II, then still Gerbert, drew upon his mastery of astrology and alchemy, and cast the head from bronze, using techniques he learned from the scholars of Islamic-controlled Spain. The head, silent until spoken to, would answer questions about the future only in simple affirmations or denials. Some said it was Meridiana who aided in the head's design. Others claimed that the devil himself supplied the final magic spells to create the head. Though Sylvester's bronze head was the first to be documented, the idea wasn't unique. Other scholars, such as Roger Bacon and the ancient Roman poet Virgil, were also rumored to have crafted such talking heads. To some, the head symbolized the hubris of intellectuals who dared to push the limits of human knowledge. As for Gerbert, after successfully using the device to answer minor questions, he dared to ask the ultimate one: "Shall I become Pope?" The bronze mouth opened, and it spoke a single fateful word: "Yes." A scholar from the shadows, Gerbert of Aurillac. Behind the rumors stood a man of unparalleled intellect. Born to shepherds in a small French village in 940, Gerbert of Aurillac wasn't destined for greatness, but his brilliance set him on an extraordinary path. From an early age, Gerbert stood apart. While tending sheep, he spent nights observing the stars, captivated by their rhythms. Recognizing his potential, his parents sent him to study at a Benedictine abbey, where he quickly outpaced his peers. At 17, Gerbert entered the monastery of St. Gerald of Aurillac, where his intellectual curiosity flourished. A visit from Count Borrell II of Barcelona in 963 changed his life, and the abbot convinced the Count to take Gerbert to Spain. There, he encountered a blend of Christian and Islamic learning, exposing him to advanced knowledge rarely seen in Europe. Gerbert mastered the abacus, enhancing it with the Hindu-Arabic numeral system, which allowed him to perform calculations with astonishing speed compared to the cumbersome Roman numerals of the time. He also constructed an armillary sphere, reviving ancient techniques to map celestial bodies, a skill long lost in Europe since the fall of Rome. By 973, his fame had spread, and he was invited to tutor Otto II, son of the Holy Roman Emperor. Gerbert became a key figure at the imperial court, eventually teaching the future emperor, Otto III. By 998, Otto's third cousin, Pope Gregory V, appointed Gerbert as Archbishop of Ravenna. His path to even greater power seemed inevitable. A final prophecy fulfilled. Gerbert of Aurillac was installed as Pope Sylvester II by Holy Roman Emperor Otto III in 999, after the sudden and suspicious death of Gregory. He was chosen not just for his intellect, but for his alignment with Otto's imperial ambitions to revive the glory of Rome and solidify the emperor's grip on the Catholic Church. Their vision of a renewed empire quickly faltered. Within 2 years, Rome erupted in revolt, rejecting Otto's influence. Sylvester and Otto retreated to Ravenna, where the emperor rallied an army to reclaim the capital. But Rome resisted. Twice his forces were repelled at its gates. On the third attempt, fate struck a final blow. Otto III died unexpectedly, and with him, the dream of reclaiming the city. In the aftermath, Sylvester was allowed back into Rome, though only under strict terms. He was forbidden to challenge the new rulers, a concession he reluctantly accepted as he resumed his duties as pope. But with his political power curtailed, myth and legend were quick to fill the void left behind. According to one of these legends, Sylvester II's infamous bronze head had given him a dire warning. The devil would come to claim his soul if he ever delivered a sermon in Jerusalem. Though Sylvester made sure that he never set foot in the Holy Land, the story claims he overlooked a crucial detail. One fateful day, he gave Mass at a church in Rome called the Basilica of the Holy Cross in Jerusalem. Soon after, he fell gravely ill. Realizing too late that the prophecy referred to this church, not the distant city, Sylvester confessed his pact with the devil. He allegedly begged his cardinals to dismember his body after his death, scattering his remains across Rome to atone for his sins. Dying shortly after, he was buried in the Vatican, and some say that to this day, the mysterious inscription on his tomb causes his bones to rattle whenever a pope is about to die. In reality, Sylvester succumbed to illness in 1003. He was in his late 50s, an age not uncommon for death in the Middle Ages, especially for a man worn down by 2 years of military campaigning to reclaim Rome. Stress, infection, or even a common virus could have claimed his life, but there's no historical evidence tying his illness to any sermon at the Basilica. As for the supposed magical inscription, it's true that his tomb carries Latin words. This place will yield to the sound of the last trumpet, the limbs of buried Sylvester II at the advent of the Lord. Medieval scholars misinterpreted the phrase yield to the sound as make a sound, sparking the enduring legend of the Pope's rattling bones. Though shadowed by dark rumors, today, Pope Sylvester II is remembered less for his supposed dealings with the devil, and more as a brilliant mind, a man who sought to restore long-lost knowledge to Europe, and who, despite the tumultuous politics of his time, tried to reform the very church he served.